December 2025. Tragedy strikes American academia, sparking a fierce debate on immigration. The shootings at Brown University and a Massachusetts suburb quickly shifted national focus to the immigration history of the perpetrator. Within days, the Trump administration, led by Homeland Security Secretary Kristi Noem, suspended the diversity visa program, known as the Green Card Lottery, citing national security concerns. Critics had long argued the lottery's random selection was unsafe, and the recent violence provided the catalyst for action. Nearly 20 million applicants worldwide suddenly saw their dreams put on hold. Legal challenges loomed, as advocates questioned the president's authority to halt a congressionally established program. The suspension became a flashpoint in the ongoing debate over security, opportunity, and who gets to become an American. December 13, 2025. Brown University's campus, deep in finals, is shattered by gunfire. Claudio Neves Valente, a lone gunman, storms an engineering building, turning a place of learning into chaos. 2 students are killed, 9 injured, lives and futures forever changed. The campus, once a sanctuary, becomes a crime scene as investigators search for answers. News spreads rapidly, parents and students gripped by fear and grief. The university cancels exams, focusing on supporting its traumatized community. Vigils unite students and faculty in mourning. The question on everyone's mind: who was the shooter, and why did he attack? 2 days after Brown, violence strikes again, this time in Brookline, Massachusetts. MIT physics professor Nuno Loureiro is found murdered in his home, deepening the region's sense of fear. Investigators quickly link the killing to Claudio Neves Valente, shifting the narrative from random violence to a targeted vendetta. Both men shared an academic past in Portugal, hinting at a complex motive. The connection between victim and killer adds a chilling layer to the crisis. Academic communities at MIT and Brown are united in shock and grief. The manhunt for Valente intensifies, as law enforcement races to prevent further tragedy. The region braces for answers, and for justice. The search for Claudio Neves Valente quickly escalates into a massive regional manhunt, drawing in law enforcement from multiple states. For nearly a week, police comb through dense woods, set up roadblocks, and follow up on dozens of tips from the public. The tension in the community is palpable as helicopters circle overhead and news crews broadcast live updates. After 6 days of relentless searching, the manhunt comes to a tragic end in Salem, New Hampshire, where Valente is discovered dead by suicide, bringing a somber close to the pursuit but leaving many questions unanswered. At a press conference, authorities confirm that Valente acted alone, and there is no evidence of accomplices or a wider conspiracy. Yet, despite their efforts, his motives remain a mystery, fueling speculation and concern among both investigators and the public. Valente's American journey began in 2000, when he arrived as a promising PhD student at Brown University. He was described by classmates as quiet and intelligent, but after just 1 year, he abruptly left the program, leaving little trace and few explanations for his departure. Years later, Valente re-emerged in the United States after winning the Diversity Visa Lottery in 2017, a program that grants permanent residency to individuals from underrepresented countries. This win allowed him to return and start a new chapter, joining thousands of others who seek opportunity in America. The revelation that Valente entered the country through the lottery system ignites a political firestorm. Suddenly, the focus shifts from the tragedy of individual loss to a heated national debate over immigration policy, border security, and the effectiveness of vetting procedures. Investigators are left grappling with the stark contrast between Valente's academic promise and his violent end. They pore over his past, searching for clues in academic records, personal correspondence, and interviews with former colleagues, but the gap between his early ambitions and his final actions remains unexplained. Valente's path, from international student to green card holder to perpetrator, becomes a focal point in the national conversation. His story is dissected in the media, with timelines and documents scrutinized for any sign of warning or missed red flags. The case raises urgent questions about the diversity visa lottery system itself. Critics demand stricter vetting and more rigorous background checks, while supporters argue that one case should not define a program that has helped so many. In the aftermath, the tragedy transforms into a national reckoning over immigration, security, and the complex stories behind every visa and green card. The legacy of Claudio Neves Valente lingers, forcing America to confront difficult questions about who is allowed to call this country home. The Diversity Visa Program, often called the Green Card Lottery, was established by the U.S. government in 1990 to encourage greater diversity among immigrants. Its main goal is to offer permanent residency to people from countries with historically low rates of immigration to the United States, giving them a rare opportunity to build a new life in America. For many, this program represents a once-in-a-lifetime chance to pursue the American dream. Each year, millions of hopefuls from around the world submit their applications online, dreaming of being among the 55,000 randomly selected winners. The application process is free and open to eligible individuals from qualifying countries, making it accessible to people from all walks of life. However, being selected is just the beginning. Applicants must prove they meet strict education or work experience requirements, and every winner undergoes extensive background and security checks before a visa is granted. This process is designed to ensure that only qualified and trustworthy individuals are admitted. In 2025, nearly 20 million people applied for the lottery. Only a handful from Portugal, including individuals like Valente, were fortunate enough to be chosen. For them, the moment of selection is life-changing, filled with hope and anticipation. Critics of the program argue that its random selection process and reliance on foreign documentation can create potential security gaps, making it difficult to thoroughly vet every applicant. On the other hand, supporters believe the Diversity Visa Program enriches America's cultural fabric, bringing new perspectives, traditions, and talents. For millions, it offers hope and a path to a better future. The vetting process is rigorous, involving interviews, biometric screenings, and document verification, but it is not without flaws. A recent tragedy has brought renewed scrutiny to the program, exposing its vulnerabilities and sparking heated debate. Lawmakers and the public are now questioning whether the benefits outweigh the risks, with some calling for reform or even abolition. As the nation mourns and policymakers deliberate, the future of the Diversity Visa Lottery hangs in the balance, uncertain and contested. The central question remains: is the promise of diversity worth the potential risk? The answer will shape America's immigration policy for years to come. In the wake of Valente's identification, the Trump administration acts swiftly, suspending the Diversity Visa Program. Homeland Security Secretary Noem declares, "Our immigration system should not be a game of chance." The administration frames the move as a necessary step to protect Americans from future threats. Officials cite past attacks by lottery recipients, arguing the program's randomness is a fatal flaw. The emotional impact of the shootings provides the political momentum to bypass congressional debate. Critics call the suspension a common-sense measure. Supporters of the program see it as a scapegoat. The message is clear. Security comes first, and the Green Card Lottery is the first casualty. The nation is left to grapple with the consequences. Amid policy debates, the true loss is personal. 3 lives, full of promise, cut short. Ella Cook, 19, was a vibrant student leader at Brown, remembered for her passion and engagement. Muhammad Aziz Umarzokov, 18, an Uzbek-American freshman, dreamed of becoming a neurosurgeon. Both students embodied hope and ambition, their deaths devastating the campus community. Professor Nuno Loureiro, 47, was a beloved MIT physicist and mentor, respected in the US and Portugal. His murder shocked the academic world and left a void among colleagues and students. These victims are not statistics. They are cherished individuals whose absence is deeply felt. Their stories remind us of the real cost of violence. As the nation debates policy, families and friends mourn irreplaceable loss. The suspension reignites a fierce debate: diversity and opportunity versus national security. Supporters argue the lottery enriches America, brings economic benefits, and symbolizes hope worldwide. They insist the vetting process is robust, and that ending the program sends the wrong message. Critics counter that random selection is unsafe, pointing to attacks by lottery recipients as proof of systemic flaws. They argue immigration should prioritize skills and family ties, not luck. The tragedy gives critics powerful ammunition, framing the lottery as a direct threat to public safety. The debate is now more polarized than ever. The future of the program, and America's identity, hangs in the balance. The diversity visa program is currently suspended, but its ultimate fate remains uncertain and hotly debated. For thousands of hopeful applicants around the world, this pause has brought anxiety and confusion, leaving families in limbo and dreams on hold. The administration has announced a comprehensive security review of the program, citing national safety concerns. However, many observers believe this could be the first step toward a permanent end to the diversity visa, as some officials have long criticized the program as outdated or risky. Meanwhile, legal challenges are rapidly mounting. Immigration attorneys and advocacy groups are questioning whether the president truly has the authority to unilaterally halt a program that was created and mandated by Congress. The legal arguments are complex, involving constitutional questions and the separation of powers. Advocacy organizations and several state governments are preparing lawsuits, determined to defend the program and the people it serves. Their efforts are setting the stage for a high-stakes legal showdown that could have far-reaching consequences for immigration law. Many experts predict that the controversy will ultimately reach the Supreme Court, where justices will be asked to decide how much power the executive branch truly has over immigration policy, and whether the diversity visa can be ended without congressional approval. Politically, the suspension has only deepened the already sharp partisan divide. Republican leaders argue that national security must come first, while Democrats warn that ending the program would be an act of discrimination and a rejection of America's tradition of welcoming newcomers. The debate is playing out not just in the halls of Congress and the courts, but also in the media, where every development is closely watched and fiercely debated by both sides. In the wake of tragedy, the nation is forced to confront difficult questions. Is the promise of diversity and opportunity worth the perceived risks? Or does security demand a new approach to immigration? The answers to these questions will shape the future of U.S. immigration policy for years, perhaps even generations to come. The outcome will affect not only policy, but the lives and hopes of countless families. For millions of people around the world, the American dream now hangs in the balance, waiting to see what comes next.